Hi, and welcome to the Outsiders podcast channel. I'm your host, the Batman. Today, I want to delve into our pandemic report, the coronavirus investigation. I found some official reports, not media reports, but reports from scientists and biomedical researchers and biochemical engineers and the like. The results is quite disturbing, and how it is linked to the AIDS virus corroborated with evidence. Throughout this broadcast, keep the number 5 in mind. I'll get into all that later. But first, there's been strange things happening and occurring on our planet. Take Africa, for example. Recently, they have been plagued with an army of locusts, just millions of them, descending down and destroying crops and farmland. And more recently, in the town of Ingham, North Queensland, Australia, thousands of bats has taken over a town with residents afraid to leave home or take their children to school. The bat tornado was so intense that the local hospital's air ambulance was grounded as they made it impossible to fly. I know what you're probably thinking, that what does this has to do with the coronavirus? The biochemical researchers in the very beginnings of the coronavirus, now named the COV ID19, appeared to be linked to bats. But now researchers has found the virus is linked to snakes. A detailed genetic analysis of the virus was performed, in which it was compared to any available genetic information on other viruses from across the world and the animal kingdom. This work resulted in the conclusion that this new virus first formed due to the combination of a coronavirus strain, usually found in bats, with another coronavirus strain of largely unknown origin. The product of this combination was a new virus that featured a mix or recombination of a viral protein that recognizes and binds to host cell receptors. This ability to recognize and bind to host cells is effectively what allows viruses to enter new hosts, leading to infection and disease. The researchers also found evidence that the coronavirus at some point made its way into snakes before ultimately reaching human patient 0. It was this aforementioned ability to recombine within the viral receptor binding protein that likely facilitated the virus cross-species transmission from snakes to humans. The study concludes that the first human diagnosed with this strain of coronavirus had, in all likelihood, visited a market in Wuhan where a large assortment of wildlife were available for purchase, including snakes, bats, rats, farm animals, poultry, and seafood. In total, that's 5 different species. Again, remember the number 5. Now, before I get into the recent findings of the virus, I first did an investigation into the city where the virus originated from. There, we can draw a conclusion where all of this is really headed. So grab some coffee, wine, or your favorite adult beverage, and your favorite cigar, because what I'm about to uncover for you is alarming, and it's worse than the virus itself. And there is a way to not only protect yourself from it, but keep you from ever getting it. First, before I do any investigation, I do what I coin the etymology analysis. It's where I look at history of names, places, and historical records. So Wuhan is the place of origin of the virus. Now the word Wu, W-U, is Mandarin for the number 5. And please note, the language of choice that many Chinese speak is Mandarin. Chinese don't speak Chinese because obviously Chinese is not a language. Thus, Mandarin is the preferred language of choice by this region. Han, H-A-N, was one of the most powerful dynasties in China. It had 5 dynasties in all. Thus, Wu is the city of Han. Also, the actual Chinese characters in the lettering of Han is 5 strokes. The Han dynasty covered 5 regions in China. Wu also has 5 Chinese lettering strokes. Lastly, the transliteration of Wuhan has 5 English letters. Again, remember the number 5. The city of Wuhan is not some small village somewhere in the remote parts of China. Wuhan is a major transportation hub, akin to New York City. To get to many regions in China, one has to first go through this city of Wuhan. It's the grand central station of China. Tens of thousands of people travel there on a day-to-day basis. Know thine enemy. The first rollout testing of the 5G network started none other than, that's right, you guessed it, Wuhan. It went live on October 31st, 2019. The branches of Chinese major telecom operators in central China's Hubei province announced October 31st of last year the launch of commercial 5G applications in the province was completed. Wuhan City, which is the capital of Hubei, is expected to have 10,000 5G base stations by the end of 2019. And obviously that has came and gone. Now they have over 10,000. That came from Song Kizu, head of the Hubei Provincial Communication Administration. China Telecom has established a 5G network covering airports, railway stations, and other areas in the city, which will also help boost the digital and intelligent transformation of the industry's 5G technologies. Could there be a correlation between 5G and the coronavirus, or is it just from snakes, rats, and bats? Yes, there is a correlation between 5G and the virus. The 5G towers is the root cause of the spreading of this bioweapon. Just as there were protesters protesting the communist Chinese government, this virus out. China is the biggest police surveillance state in the world. There is no place in China without biometric scans, facial recognition, and state-of-the-art cameras. All of the ones that are getting arrested there for the so-called having this virus are indeed the ones who was indeed protesting against the Chinese communists or the Chi-Coms and are being thrown in so-called quarantine concentration camps there. Foreign actors have been bribing U.S. citizens in key positions to betray their country. Why is China and Qatar donating vast sums of money to America's education institutions? They are trying to destroy America from within. They cannot defeat us militarily. So the deep state cabal, by way of China, uses economics, exploit weaknesses at the border laws, etc., and many more covert and overt tactics. Now check this out. Harvard University's chemistry and chemical biology department and 2 Chinese nationals have been charged with concealing their connections to China. Charles Lieber, who is the chair of the Department of Chemistry and Chemical Biology at the university, was arrested Tuesday morning, 2 weeks ago rather, and charged with making a false, fictitious, and fraudulent statement. Chinese nationals Yangkang Ye and Zhazong Zhang were also charged. Ye is currently in China, and Zhang has been detained since December 30th, when he was detained at Boston Logan International Airport. Ye has been charged with visa fraud, making false statements, acting as an agent of a foreign government, and conspiracy. Zhang was charged with attempting to smuggle 21 vials of biological research to China on January 21st, 2020. Zhang was indicted on 1 count of smuggling goods from the United States and 1 count of making false, fictitious, or fraudulent statements. Now, let's delve into these guys a little further and get the specifics, because what they're charged with is highly important to this investigation. Now, Dr. Charles Lieber, according to court documents, since 2008, Dr. Lieber, who has served as the principal investigator of the Lieber Research Group at Harvard University, which specializes in the area of nanoscience, has received more than $15 million in grant funding from the National Institutes of Health, or the NIH, the Department of Defense, DoD. These grants require the disclosure of significant foreign financial conflicts of interest, including financial support from foreign governments or foreign entities. Unbeknownst to Harvard University, beginning in 2011, Lieber became a strategic scientist at Wuhan University of Technology. Now, isn't that a coincidence? Or is it? In China, and was a contractual participant in China's 1,000 Talents Plan from in or about 2012 to 2017. China's 1,000 Talents Plan is one of the most prominent Chinese talent recruit plans that are designed to attract, recruit, and cultivate high-level scientific talent in furtherance of China's scientific development, economic prosperity, and national security. These talent programs seek to lure Chinese agents overseas, and foreign experts to bring their knowledge and experience to China and reward individuals for stealing proprietary information. Under the terms of Lieber's 3-year 1,000 Talents contract, WUT paid Lieber $50,000 per month, living expenses of up to 1 million Chinese yuan. That's approximately $158,000 at the time, and awarded him more than $1.5 million to establish a research lab at the Wuhan University. In return, Lieber was obligated to work for WUT not less than 9 months a year by declaring international cooperation projects, cultivating young teachers and PhD students, organizing international conferences, applying for patents and publishing articles in the name of the Wuhan University. The complaint alleges that in 2018 and 2019, Lieber lied about his involvement in the Thousand Talents Plan, affiliation with WUT, on or about April 24, 2018. During an interview with investigators, Lieber stated that he was never asked to participate in the Thousand Talents program, but he wasn't sure China categorized him. Now moving on to Yang Kang Ye. According to the indictment, Ye is a lieutenant of the People's Liberation Army, or the PLA, the Armed Forces of the People's Republic of China, and member of the Chinese Communist Party, or the CCP, or summed up, CHICOMs. On her J1 visa application, Ye falsely identified herself as a student and lied about her ongoing military service at the National University of Defense Technology, a top military academy directed by the CHICOMs. It is further alleged that while studying at Boston University's Department of Physics, of all places, chemistry and biomedical engineering from October 2017 to April 2019, Ye continued to work as a PLA lieutenant, completing numerous assignments from the PLA officers, such as conducting research, assessing U.S. military websites, and sending U.S. documents and information to China. According to court documents, on April 20th, 2019, federal officers interviewed Ye at Boston's Logan International Airport. During the interview, it is alleged that Ye falsely claimed that she had minimal contact with two NUDT professors who were high-ranking PLA officers of the CHICOMs. However, a search of Ye's electronic devices demonstrated that at the direction of one NUDT professor who was a PLA colonel, Ye had assessed U.S. military websites, researched U.S. military projects, and compiled information for the PLA on two U.S. scientists with expertise in robotics and computer science. Furthermore, a review of a WeChat conversation revealed that Ye and the other PLA CHICOM official from the NUDT were collaborating on a research paper about a risk assessment model designed to decipher data for military applications. During the interview, Ye admitted that she held the rank of a lieutenant in the PLA and admitted she was a member of the CHICOMs. Now, Zhang Zhang. In August 2018, Zhang entered the United States on another J1 visa and conducted cancer cell research, above all things, at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center in Boston from September 4th, 2018 to December 9th, 2019. It is alleged that on December 9th, Zhang stole 21 vials of biological research and attempted to smuggle them out of the United States aboard a flight destined for China. Federal officers at Logan Airport discovered the vials hidden in a sock inside of one of Zhang's bags and not properly packaged. It is alleged that initially Zhang lied to officers about the contents of his luggage, but later admitted he had stolen the vials from a lab at Beth Israel. Zhang stated that he intended to bring the vials to China to use them to conduct research in his own laboratory and publish the results under his own name. And you know that is a crock. Secretary Pompeo, which knows which U.S. governors have sold America out to China. Ladies and gentlemen, this is bigger than you think. Take a look.
Last year I received an invitation to an event that promised to be, quote, an occasion for exclusive deal making. It said, quote, the opportunities for mutually beneficial economic development between China and our individual states are tremendous, end of quote. Deal making sounds like it might have come from President Trump, but the invitation was actually from a former governor. I was being invited to the U.S.-China Governors Collaboration Summit. It was an event co-hosted by the National Governors Association and something called the Chinese People's Association for Friendship and Foreign Countries. Sounds pretty harmless. What the invitation did not say is that the group I just mentioned, is the public face of the Chinese Communist Party's official foreign influence agency, the United Front Work Department. Now, I was lucky. I was familiar with that organization from my time as the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, but it got me thinking, how many of you made the link between that group and Chinese Communist Party officials? What if you made a new friend while you were at that event? What if your new friend asked you for introductions to other politically connected and powerful people? What if your new friend offered to invest big money in your state, perhaps in your pension, in industries sensitive to our national security? These aren't hypotheticals. These scenarios are all too true, and they impact American foreign policy significantly. Indeed, last year, a Chinese government-backed think tank in Beijing produced a report that assessed all 50 of America's governors on their attitudes towards China. They labeled each of you friendly, hardline, or ambiguous. I'll let you decide where you think you belong. Someone in China already has. Many of you, indeed, in that report are referenced by name. So here's the lesson. The lesson is that competition with China is not just a federal issue. It's why I wanted to be here today, Governor.
So now we have Lieber working at the labs in Wuhan, and more specifically, the Wuhan University of Technology. Chinese military agents buying secrets from U.S. citizens and sending them to China via bat, and another Chinese agent bringing vials of viruses back from China and to China. Government in bribes from China by selling secrets, U.S. secrets to them. How long has this been going on? And what other assets are doing the same? These three individuals just happened to get caught. Moving on. There was a patent for the coronavirus filed in 2015 and granted in 2018 by a patent company named Justia Patents. That's Justia Patents. This is for those who's doing their own independent investigations. This assignee of this patent was the government-funded Pirbright Institute out of the Ukraine. The patents go into extreme details of the coronavirus. This is all being done and coordinated in sophisticated biochemical laboratories all over China. Many of the operations are in secret labs hidden underground, and the rest hidden in plain sight. Many labs produces not only contained viruses, bioweapons, and the like, but drugs like fentanyl as well. Very deadly. Some of their major funders are the World Health Organization and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Bill Gates ran a simulation where this virus killed tens of millions, a total of 65 million people in a 3-month period before it showed up. The WHO recently said that vaccine hesitancy was one of the leading threats to global health in 2019. And how much funding has the Gates Foundation given to vaccine programs throughout the years? Hundreds of millions. Was the release of this disease planned? Yes, indeed. Is the media being used to incite fear around it? Yes, indeed. Is the cabal desperate for money, so they're tapping their big pharma reserves? Yes, indeed. Are there vaccines already being manufactured to fight this? Yes, indeed. Coordinated all along? Yes, indeed. This is a clear-cut and dry case of the deep state's cabal's mantra that they strictly adhere to: problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem, in this case, the coronavirus. The reaction is how the public responds to it, like the media, news outlets, what's happening to people, who has it, etc. And the solution is the cure that they already have. Let's get on to the specific nature of this bioweapon coronavirus. The knowledge is real scientific and indeed technical. So feel free to pause video, take notes, screen grab, screenshot, upload, re-upload, whatever you like. This is the scientific evidence that I will break down as how this virus is linked with the HIV strand. The bioscientists found 4 insertions in the spike glycoprotein S, which are unique to the 2019 COV, or the coronavirus, and are not present in any other coronaviruses. Importantly, amino acids residues in all the 4 inserts have identity or similarity to those in the HIV-1 GP120 or HIV-1 GAG. Interestingly, despite the inserts being discontinuous on a primary amino acid sequence, 3D modeling of the coronavirus suggests that they converge to constitute the receptor binding site. The finding of 4 unique inserts in the coronavirus, all of which have identity, similarity to amino acid residues in key structural proteins of HIV-1, is unlikely to be fortuitous in nature. This work provides yet unknown insights on the coronavirus and sheds light on the evolution and pathogenicity of the virus, with important implications for diagnosis of this virus. The discovery of the SARS-like coronavirus in bats suggests that bats could be the natural reservoir of the SARS-CoV. However, previous studies indicated the angiotensin converting enzyme 2, or the ACE2 protein, a known SARS-CoV receptor from a horse bat, was unable to act as a functional receptor for the SARS-CoV. Here, they extended the previous study to ACE2 molecules, additional bat species, and tested their interactions with human SARS-CoV spike protein using both HIV-based pseudotype and live SARS-CoV. The infection assays. The results show that the AC2s of Myotis doubletoni and Rhinolophus synthesis support viral entry mediated by the SARS-CoV-S protein, albeit with a different efficiency in comparison to that of the human ACE2. Further, the alteration of several key residues either decreased or enhanced bat ACE2 receptor efficiency, as predicted from a structural modeling study of the different bat ACE2 molecules. The data suggests that the M. doubletoni and the R. synthesis are likely to be susceptible to SARS-CoV and may be candidates of the natural host of the SARS-CoV progenitor viruses. Furthermore, the current study also determines that the genetic diversity of ACE2 among bats is greater than that observed among the SARS-CoV susceptible mammals, highlighting the possibility that there are many more uncharacterized bat species that can act as a reservoir of SARS-CoV or its progenitor viruses. This calls for continuation and expansion of field surveillance studies among the different bat populations so eventually identify the true natural reservoir of the SARS-CoV. Now, the HIV-1 luciferase pseudotype virus carrying the SARS-CoV BJ01S protein and the HIV-BJ01S was compared as described previously. HeLa cells, or HeLa cells, H-E-L-A, for those again investigating, were seeded onto 96 well plates for 18H and then transfected with 0.2 UG recombinant plasmid containing bat or human ACE2 using 0.5 UL lipofectamine 2000, or simply the Invitrogen in the US. That's according to the manufacturer's protocol. So in other words, and to briefly summarize that scientific analysis, is that we are dealing with a biogenetically made virus that has the HIV strand in it, and that it is airborne, and contact can be made through the eyes as well as the nose and mouth. And nicotine is a substance that can prevent it. Look at the previous strains and the scientific data that I just presented. Nicotine will disrupt that. N95 masks or N95 masks can work, but according to these strands, you will need a full face mask with respirator to protect your eyes, thus making N95 masks irrelevant, but still needed and useful. And by the virus containing the HIV strand, a simple HIV treatment drug will cure that. Also by the virus containing flu-like symptoms, pneumonia. So the regular vitamin C and vitamin D3, 1000 IU or better, will solve that. And a simple HIV treatment will kill the HIV strand. But please, don't take this as medical advice, as I'm not a doctor or medical professional, but just an investigator and researcher.
This is just fucking crazy.
So we have
Look at
locusts
these birds. They're
and
like
bats being
everywhere.
released on the world, as if to say that these things are spreading the virus.
Thousands and thousands.
Chinese
and
labs
thousands
being
of
operated
birds.
and ran underground, hiding in plain sight, pretending to be researching, when in fact they're being funded by the Gates Foundation to produce these very viruses and bioweapons that's plaguing the world today. You have Harvard professors and agents of the Chi-Coms, armies coming into the U.S. with vials, taking back vials of the viruses to be experimented on in the U.S. and in China. I believe the 10,000 5G towers that's currently located all over Wuhan is the root cause of this coronavirus. Ladies and gentlemen, this is only the beginning. What the deep state elite cabal has in store for us is something we as a people has never faced. On my next follow-up video, I'll delve more into this deep state cabal, who they are, what their plans are, how they are trying to destroy the United States from within, and also answer these mystery unidentified crafts that's being spotted all over the world, worldwide. Then I will show you how it is all tied together on a master plan by this cabal to hold the world to hostage if power is not restored to them. There's a storm coming. There's a war coming. Not a third world war against a country, but a war against humanity. Their deep state armies include Antifa, MS-13, the 18th Street Gang, and over 1,000 sleeper cells in the United States that the FBI Director Wray recently told the Senate Judiciary hearing on February 5th, 2020. And there is a new deep state army that's going to be unleashed on America. And this was highlighted by none other than, I hate to say this name, Hillary Rodham Clinton, in a tweet of all things. And in that tweet revealed that there will be unleashed on every senator that acquitted the president on impeachment will all be dealt justice, and want people to sign up for this. I will also highlight all this and more on part 3 of my sleeper cell investigation. Until then, get prepared, stay prepared, remain vigilant, see something, say something, and always remember, you are the true resistance. The Batman ending transmission.